You're watching Hawaii News Now Sunrise.
556, Boeing says airlines are not buying their 737 MAX jets.
Only 10 planes were ordered in the first 2 months of 2019. In 2018, by contrast, 112 were ordered in the first 3 months alone. Boeing's 737 MAX jets are believed to be responsible for 2 airline crashes in a matter of months. The company says it is working on a software fix for those planes.
Uber wants to help businesses give their customers free rides. This is part of a new program the company's launching. It's called Uber Vouchers. It can be used as a perk to attract new business or for the company's reward system.
Robots are taking over the world. Walmart is adding thousands of them to stores. Some employees will lose their jobs over time. The robots will clean the floors, scan inventory, and sort deliveries. Hundreds of Walmart locations already have a robot to assist them with those tasks.
All right, 556, top stories coming up next. We'll be right back. Bye.
MB and KHNL. This is your source for breaking news in the morning. Hawaii News Now Sunrise.
5:59 right now. State lawmakers are targeting vacation rentals. Mileka's going to tell us why regulation may actually happen this time around and how much the state could make in tax revenue.
A mid-air mishap aboard an inter-island flight. What caused the oxygen mask to deploy yesterday?
And we had a good time up at UH Manoa yesterday. We're going to recap the Hawaii News Now event on campus. That's coming up next.
Blah, blah, blah. I'm just kidding.
No.
No, it's great.
Other people had great things to say, yes.
Oh,
No,
I
it
missed
was
all
awesome.
that. I missed all that.
Yeah, something else you missed. It was yesterday when the trades began to come back.
Yeah.
I turned to Billy, who was doing weather, and said, hey, you were right, forgetting that you made the prediction. So finally, to kind of cover myself, I told Billy, well, you are a guy.
Yes.
And you were right.
Not a guy huggy, but a guy.
But actually, you were right.
Thank you very much. The National Weather Service was right in that they called for those trades
Good
to pick up.
job. Yay.
Kudos to the National Weather Service.
There's some good guys, too.
Yeah, and gals as well. And gals as well. So we're telling everybody to hang on to the little kids, and we have posted a bad hair advisory. Yes, those trade winds are picking up, and they will be getting even stronger for the next couple of days. In fact, a wind advisory now posted for parts of Maui County and the Big Island. Also, increasing showers moving in to the east end of the state. Mainly, we could get some flooding conditions before all said and done. It's going to be damp through Sunday, and there's a rising east swell because of these increasing trade winds. The winds will be running stiff and steady starting today, getting stronger over the next couple of days. And that's why there is a small craft advisory from Oahu to the Big Island for most coastal waters. And also these areas including the Kohala Coast, Kaho'olawe, Lanai, and the central Maui down to West Maui under a wind advisory. That means winds could be gusting upwards of 50 miles an hour, and that could lead to power outages. So be prepared for that event. Lacey, back to you.
Hey, good morning, guys. Let's head out toward the west side. Traffic backed up from Kunia through the H1H2 merge. And we are up to about an hour, 10 minutes from Waianae to downtown Honolulu. But not tracking any accidents. You do pick up in pace after Waimalu. And as far as the zipper lane this morning, so far so good starting in Waikele. Let's take a live look out of Eva Beach. That's backed up to Kolowaka. Just over an hour drive to get you to downtown. No other hotspots we're tracking. Townbound traffic on the H1 looking nice at the Middle Street merge. East and windward clear. Stephen Grace, back to you.
Thanks, Lacey. The state is getting closer to finally passing legislation to regulate illegal vacation rentals.
Yeah, our Mileka Lincoln joins us now with more. Morning, Mileka.
Aloha, good morning, Steve. Grace, this is an issue the state has struggled with over the decades. But 2 bills are now making their way through the state legislature that lawmakers say are game changers. Keep in mind, similar ones have failed before, but this time, supporters say the rules have changed. Yesterday, both the State House and Senate passed legislation that would require websites like Airbnb or VRBO to collect and pay taxes on behalf of short-term rental hosts. Lawmakers believe they'll have success turning at least one of these bills into law because of a recent court ruling in California that said online platforms for rentals can be forced to give information about their hosts to the government. Over the decades, thousands of vacation rentals, most of which are operating illegally, have popped up statewide. If they were licensed, short-term rental operators would be required to pay transient accommodations, or TAT, and general excise taxes, or GET, to the state.
It's a revenue bill. It will hopefully bring in more TAT and general excise tax revenue. And it's also a bill that puts everybody on a level playing field. The hotels all pay it, the timeshares pay it. It's just a matter of equity in terms of ensuring that the state is receiving the taxes that it's supposed to be paid.
In its testimony, Airbnb says the bill is not a fair process for regulating the industry, but rather seeks to impose harsh fines. The company also claimed, quote, hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars in tourist revenue could be at risk if this bill were to be adopted as currently proposed. Lawmakers passed legislation just a few years ago that would have similarly required vacation rental platforms to collect taxes on behalf of their hosts. But Governor David Ige vetoed that bill, saying he believed it would encourage the growth of illegal rentals lacking county permits. So how much is potentially at stake? Well, legislators say getting taxes from the thousands of illegal rentals that have popped up statewide could add up to over $100 million.
Whoa.
So we're talking about a significant amount of money here.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Mileka.
Yeah.
It's 6:04. Oxygen masks fell from the ceiling during a Hawaiian Airlines inter-island flight. We're told this happened just minutes before the plane landed in Hilo yesterday. Hawaiian says there was a malfunction in a component that affects cabin pressure. The plane landed safely. No one was hurt. The airline is now inspecting the pressurization system on the Boeing 717 before returning it to service.
At the state legislature, the second crossover deadline is tomorrow. So far, more than 450 bills have returned to their originating chamber. The measures include bail and election reform, increases in minimum wage through 2024, and an extension of the Ohana Zones program for homeless individuals. If the House or Senate disagrees with any amendments, both chambers will discuss the bill in conference committee.
Happening today, state lawmakers will discuss a bill on criminal justice reform for minors. The bill would require children under the age of 16 to consult a lawyer before waiving any constitutional rights. It would also limit the length of sentences for nonviolent crimes. Lawmakers will hold a conference at noon today at the state capitol, room 445. 6:05, another top Homeland Security official is out.
Howard is watching Washington for us.
Good morning. Acting Deputy Secretary Claire Grady resigned after President Trump passed her over for acting successor to Kirstjen Nielsen. Choosing border boss Kevin McAleenan instead may actually have been illegal, but it's legal now with Grady removing herself. She's gone despite several Republican senators praising her performance as Homeland's #2. So many senior officials have left. The White House yesterday afternoon felt obliged to say it does not plan to clean house in lower ranks at the department. The Department of Defense has awarded about $1 billion in border wall building contracts. The work is to be done west of El Paso, Texas, and near Yuma, Arizona. Companies from Texas and Montana won the contracts. Their deadline for completion is October 2020, just before the next election. The House cancels today's budget vote. The Democrat leadership couldn't get buy-in from its own left wing. They wanted domestic spending raised as much as defense spending. The House did pass a bill to modernize the IRS. Both houses and both parties support it. But it favors one special interest, TurboTax, by forbidding the IRS to make its own filing software. Today is the tax deadline. No, not that one. The one Democrats set for Trump's tax returns. Now, we already knew that the returns would not be forthcoming, so this now tees up a court battle over that. President Trump and his advisors have been saying inflation is under control, so the Fed should loosen up and cut interest rates. This morning's consumer price report contradicts that. Inflation is up more than expected from last year, 1.9, and if you dial out volatile food and fuel, it rose 2%. Wall Street's not moving much. The Dow is down a little under 10 points. Guys?
All right. Thank you, Howard.
Well, the Coast Guard needs help finding the owner of a kayak that was found floating near Lahaina. The kayak was found just before 2:30 p.m. yesterday, about a quarter mile off the Mulla boat ramp. Now, crews searched the area. No one was found, and there are no reports of anyone missing in the area. But if you have information, call the Coast Guard, 842-2600.
The Waikiki Safe Walk will be held today. Participants plan to walk 1 or 2 blocks off of Waikiki and take photos of people who are using the streets. The photos will help organizers identify potential hazards and barriers. The goal is to encourage better pedestrian safety and access in that area. It begins at 8:30 this morning.
The first interstellar object discovered in our solar system may form a new planet in the future. This mysterious object, known as Oumuamua, was first spotted by a telescope at Haleakala in 2017. Now, scientists have speculated about its origin, with some even saying that it could be an alien spacecraft. Most say, though, that it's probably a comet ejected from another star system. Scientists say Oumuamua could attract space dust and gas to itself, and then it could eventually form a full planet.
Were you stuck in this yesterday? Because it sucked. An unusual sight on the H1 freeway yesterday morning. A boat fell off the back of a trailer, causing a brief closure near the Waimalu on-ramp. 2 westbound lanes were closed for about an hour until the boat was moved to the shoulder. No injuries were reported, but there were some people that were stuck in that.
What people?
I don't know.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
All right, so there's a warning for Uber drivers this morning.
Yeah, police say at least one of the company's drivers figured out a way to get into customers' unprotected homes. What the driver allegedly did and what he allegedly made off with coming up next.
And we have our Instagram image of the day. Don't forget to use the hashtag HNN Sunrise, and you might see it here.
And before we go to break, hot spot. It is the H1 at Ka'ahumanu. It's slow going. Lacey will tell you what's going on when we come back.